I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won.
With my son now, like, I look at him, he's 2 now, he's getting big as fuck. Like, he's huge, man. And with my son, I watch him, like, he'll do shit I do. You know what I mean? Or my 4-year-old boy, like if me and his mom in there arguing, he'd run in there and be like, Tabby, stop, no. And instead of me blowing him off, I'll let him know that I acknowledge him. Like, we'll be in a real argument, and he'll run in that motherfucker, hey, shut this shit down. Tabby, stop. Apologize to and it'll be her fault. And what do I do with him? I look at him. I said, okay, homie, I'm sorry. Mommy, I apologize. And he'll look at me and be like, okay, thanks, and walk off. My 4-year-old boy has diffused so many arguments between me and my fiance to the point where it's crazy. But I could blow him off. But the one thing I do is I let him know that I acknowledge him. As a young man's son, I hear you. And I don't let my kids think that because I'm the parent that I know that I'm right all the time. You know, there's times where I'm wrong. I'll let them know, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was wrong for that. I was wrong. You were right. And as parents, we need to understand that it's okay to let our kids know that shit. Like, it's okay to let them know that we wrong. You know what I mean? That when we are wrong, to let them know that. You know what I mean? But to not let them think that they can interject every time they think we're wrong. That's different. You feel what I'm saying? So I acknowledge them when they'll talk to me or they don't want me arguing or they want me to sit down. Like, I'll acknowledge them and let them know I hear you and I see you. I hear you and I see you. You know what I mean? And the argument's over after that. Like, we don't go back to it like it's over. You know what I mean? And this is just the shit that I teach my boys because I don't want them growing up thinking that I don't hear them or that I don't see them. You know what I mean? Son, I hear you. And I acknowledge you. And I FO because guess what? When your child hits like 1, they sponges after that. Like, everything you say and do, they absorb it up. You know what I mean? And I don't want when they have kids to dismiss their kids. You know what I mean? So I have to be very careful of everything that I do. And I have moments where I be mad as fuck and I be really mad and I may discipline them, but I let them know I acknowledge them. As young men and women, I let them know that. You know what I mean? Your voice is heard here. But also know that when my mind is made up, that means shut the fuck up because my mind is made up now. You know what I mean? Because I'm still your father. So regardless of what you try and say, like, when my mind is made up, it's made up. Right? Because I still have to maintain command of my household. You know what I mean? So that shit's really important. Like, and I'll look at a lot of these young boys and girls who are here having babies at a young age who had shit that was promising, but they'll have babies at a young age. And then I'll see people on Facebook like, yeah, congratulations. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, da, 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 da. And I be having an issue with that because it's like, I'm not saying bash them and talk down on what they, you know, that they're having a baby. Yes, having a child is always a beautiful thing. But when do we have the real conversation with them about what the fuck were you doing? This wasn't supposed to happen. When do we really have that conversation? And before we get to all the congratulations, let them know, hold up. This was not supposed to happen. No, I'm not happy about the situation, but I can be happy that you about to bring a new life into the world. You feel what I'm saying? Because babies having babies, these young men and women that think that clothing a child, feeding it, putting a roof over his head and sending them to school is raising your child. And that's maintaining. That's how you maintain a child. Raising a child, what the fuck are you teaching them? Are you teaching them? And this is what I'm saying though. Teaching, this is not teaching. Hey, son, listen, I had a child at a young age. Don't do that. That's not teaching. That's giving advice. You feel what I'm saying? Teaching is just like going to school. Why do you have a teacher? Because they teach you for months and months and months and months and months, and they drill it in your head. Now you have been taught, because you have been taught how it functions, how it operates, how to solve it. That's teaching. A lot of these people, these young boys and girls who 18, 19, or maybe young 20, 21 having these babies and they're not ready for it because they don't understand how to teach. They understand how to maintain, but they don't understand how to teach or raise a child. You feel what I'm saying? For example, my baby girl 7, when I have conversations, I've had many conversations, and we're going to keep having them. I have conversations with her about how to dress, why you shouldn't dress this way, how boys can feel about that. And I teach her how to properly engage with young boys. I teach her how to properly and appropriately engage with young boys. You feel what I'm saying? That's raising and that's teaching. That's not maintaining. That's raising and that's teaching. Because they mothers and fathers not teaching them shit. They go to school with all this pent up fucking, emotion and shit. And when they feel a certain type of way, they don't know how to manage the emotion because they ain't been taught how to manage it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these young cats who are having kids at a young age aren't teaching their kids how to manage these emotions. How do you teach them how to manage that? Do you just spank them on the hand and say, you're not supposed to do that, be nice, or take, like, how do you teach them how to manage emotion? How do you teach them how to appropriately interact with young boys and young girls? How do you teach them that? A lot of people don't have the fucking answer because they're not doing it. You know what I mean? You cannot just say, no, don't do this. Like, they know they're not supposed to, but teach me why I'm not supposed to. So, for example, when I'm teaching them, I teach them about the outcome. That if you do this, these are the outcomes that you have to consider, and this is what you're going to have to deal with that outcome, right? The third thing that I make them consider is, by doing this, there is no getting away from it. There ain't no taking no breaks from whatever outcome that you manifested. This is here now. So you got to deal with it. You feel what I'm saying? And everything, a lot of the things that was important to you, you're going to have to give them up now. All it takes is one time. I talk to them about how hard shit can be, about what I got to deal with, about what I'm trying to do and what I'm working at right now. I give them the perspective of why they shouldn't do something. And if they do, this is the outcome. This is what you got to consider if this is the move you're going to make. We really got to start having real conversations, and school ain't going to teach them. So I homeschool my kids because I'm going to teach them all the shit that school not going to teach them.